back to the channel. Today's video covers a few topics that are likely on your mind if you've been following the real estate market in Canada and in particular Alberta. So let's talk about interest rates, new opportunities for first-time homebuyers, CMHC's 2024 housing outlook, the Alberta market, and relocating to Alberta. I'm Amy Schmidt, real estate agent at eXp Realty. I cover the greater Edmonton area as well as the Camrose region. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them. My contact information is in the description below, or feel free to leave a comment. Last week's announcement from the Bank of Canada saw no changes, so that was good news for anyone that was fearing that the rates might go up. However, I know there were many of you that had your fingers crossed that the rates would drop, and that didn't happen, so there was a little bit of disappointment experience there. The next announcement is on June 5th, so we'll see what happens with that. Prime rate remains just over 7%. However, we are seeing some 5-year fixed rates coming in at just under 5%. If you are planning on buying a home in 2024 and you don't yet have your mortgage approval in place, I highly recommend that you get the ball rolling on that, and I'm going to tell you why. The Alberta market is super hot right now. We're seeing an increased demand in housing. Our inventory is lower than what we'd like it to be, and people moving from other provinces is putting some pressure on buyers to be super competitive with their offers right now. So if you're a seller, this increased demand is good news because there are many people out there house hunting and shopping, and they might be looking for exactly what you have. If you're a buyer, you need to be prepared. You need to talk strategy with your agent. You need to know your pre-approval limit. You need to know the expiry date on that. So usually you can, when you get a mortgage pre-approval, that expires in about 120 days. Some are stretching to 130 days, but most 120. That means you have to take possession of your new home on or before that date. It doesn't mean you have 120 days to shop around and look for something. It means you need to get shopping around and find what you want and make sure that your possession date falls within the 120 days, so before your expiry date. You need to know where your down payment's coming from and factor in all of the other costs. So that's a conversation that I have with my clients. You know what things to expect along the way. You know, you're going to have to pay other professionals as part of the process. So working with an agent as a buyer, you don't pay us. Generally, that fee is covered by the seller. However, there's going to be home inspection, legal fees. If you're buying a condo, having the condo documents reviewed, that kind of thing. But again, that's a conversation you have with your realtor so that you're prepped and prepared, and that there are no surprises, no unexpected expenses, because nobody likes surprises. And really just be ready. So if a new listing pops up and it catches your eye, you need to be prepared to head out there and check it out, write an offer before somebody else does. You know, with this increased demand, don't be surprised if when you write the offer, your agent comes back and tells you that you're competing with at least one other buyer on the same property. If you've had this happen to you and you've experienced the disappointment, you know what I'm talking about. If you have written a few offers and you've lost to a competing buyer, don't get discouraged. Like, hang in there. There's new listings popping up all the time, so I'm confident that we can find you what you're looking for. Okay, so in the news lately, couple announcements by the government for first-time homebuyers. The first one I'm going to talk about is that up until this point, you could pull up to $35,000 from your RSP savings to put towards a down payment. They're increasing that limit to $60,000. So you can pull $60,000 from your RSP without any tax penalties to put towards your down payment for your home. This is for first-time homebuyers. I've talked to some mortgage brokers, and the number of people that actually took advantage of that option, even when it was at $35,000, was pretty small. So, you know, generally first-time homebuyers are younger, not always, but younger people who haven't had an opportunity to stash that money away into an RSP yet. So, you know, they're just kind of scrounging for their down payment, and it's in a savings or checking account, or, you know, in many cases they're having some help from family. So that's great news. If you've got that money in your RSP, know that you can tap into that to help you out. The other news for first-time homebuyers, if you're buying a brand new house, which again, not a lot of first-time homebuyers, they're buying brand new. They're buying a little starter home, maybe even a condo or a duplex, something that's not brand new. But if you are, instead of taking out a 25-year mortgage, you can take out a 30-year mortgage. Is this good news? I guess. I mean, it will lower your monthly payment, so you're stretching things out. However, by stretching it out, in the end, you're paying more interest. So maybe take it for now and then refinance and shorten that term up later. I don't know. But again, I've talked to some mortgage brokers and, same thing. They're looking at, the positive is it will lower your payment, your monthly payment, but in the long run, is it really helping anyone other than the banks? I don't know. I think that, these announcements are better than nothing. Like hopefully some of you will be able to tap into these, but I think relaxing the mortgage stress test for everybody, or even just for first-time homebuyers, would have been a little bit more broader help than what has been announced. But hang in there and we'll see what else comes along. Something you may not have heard about is the CMHC 2024 housing market outlook. So the latest trends in Canada's new homes, resale and rental sectors, including forecasts in 6 major cities, including Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Ottawa, Toronto, and Montreal. So the full report is going to be released on May 1st and include 12 other market areas. But I have included a link in the description below for what has been released so far, so you can check it out if you find this kind of thing interesting. The highlights are that housing starts in most of these areas are on the decline. So there's been a lot of zoning changes in major cities across Canada, and this kind of been a push again of the federal government to start building more higher density neighborhoods. So that means more condos, more high-rise, more fourplexes, that kind of thing, less single-family detached homes. So interestingly, though, the report notes positive economic conditions in Alberta, particularly Edmonton. We're anticipating some growth in construction. I met with a builder last Wednesday, and everything on the street that he had was sold, and his next project is the next street over, which currently is just a big pile of dirt. And I asked him what was going in, because I've heard of a lot of zoning changes and more high density housing being built, and he said nope. He said not a chance that we'll be doing any of that. He said we know what people want. We're going to be doing single family detached homes, because that's what in his experience has been selling, and that's what people are looking for in that particular area. So that was in a builder within the greater Edmonton area. So I thought that was kind of interesting and great, actually, because a lot of people that I've talked to are saying the same thing. Like, they don't want to be crammed in, they want space. So my clients right now are all looking for something with a larger yard than what they already have. So people want space. So hopefully that that builder, he's not the only one, and we see some we don't see the zoning being changed in every city and just cramming more people in. Anyway, back to the CMHC report. It's predicted that high demand and low inventory are going to continue driving average prices up in Alberta, which kind of leads me into the last topic that I wanted to touch on, and that's relocation within Canada. So we're seeing high numbers of home buyers from all across the country, but in particular BC and Ontario. Why the influx of people to Alberta? It's one of the first questions I ask people is, what brings you here? And it's, at one time it might have been, oh, my husband got a job transfer, or my wife has a job opportunity, or is going to be going to university there, or whatever. The answers are like somewhat the same, but a little bit different right now. So I'm hearing about healthcare, education, career opportunities, but a big one is political. I don't like to get political on my channel, but that's what people are telling me. They're, in particular, the people from Ontario are saying that they're excited about the fact that we have a premier who stands up to the federal government, and they want to come here and be a part of that. In short, just looking for opportunities for a better life for their family. Last year, Alberta saw over 55,000 new residents due to interprovincial migration. So that shattered a record. Like on a percentage basis, there haven't been that many people moving to Alberta since 1981. And this year that trend continues. Again, we're seeing people from all provinces and territories, but mainly BC and Ontario. I, in fact, moved here for the same reasons in 2012. For those of you who don't know, I'm originally from Nova Scotia, but have called Alberta home since 2012. I'm a firm believer that the grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence, but we water the grass here in Alberta, and we welcome you to come check it out. So if you're planning a relocation here, reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help. I've been in your shoes, especially if you're moving with kids. My kids were 10 and 12 when I moved to Alberta, so it was a big change for all of us. We moved from a rural area to a city. We landed in Spruce Grove, and I've lived in a number of other suburb areas outside the Edmonton region, and now I live in Camrose, but still cover all of that territory, serve clients in anywhere from just west of Spruce Grove, Stony Plain, Parkland County, St. Albert, anywhere in the Edmonton area, Leduc, Beaumont to the south, Sherwood Park to the east, and then southeast in Camrose. So if you're looking at a map, it's like quite an area, but I know them all well because I've lived in them all. I move around a fair bit. So yeah, not only have I been in your shoes, I get it. It's a big decision, big adjustment, lots of moving parts. But so I can, I have a different perspective than maybe someone who's lived here all their lives. And I've helped many other families with a smooth transition with their relocation to Alberta as well. So in case you missed it, I'm Amy Schmidt at eXp Realty. My contact information is in the description below. If you have an idea for a topic for an upcoming video, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to cover it. If you have questions, probably other people have the same question and I have answers. So I'd be more than happy to chat on the phone. We can communicate via text or email, or like I say, others probably have the same questions. So I'd be more than happy to do a video about it. If you like this video and found it informative, please check out my other ones. Feel free to like, subscribe. If you know of anybody else considering a move to Alberta, please share this with them. I'd be more than happy to answer their questions. Just chat, even if they're in the early stages or if they've just sold their house and they're ready to land on the ground. I'm ready to go house hunting. Let's do it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And again, please like and subscribe. More videos to come.